This is the Flathead Valley Sports Haven, the segment where I highlight current and former Flathead Valley area players, coaches, and sports figures celebrating the best athletics our valley has to offer. I'm your host, Cole Havens, and today in studio, I'm joined by longtime Whitefish coach and community member, Julio Delgado. He is a Hall of Famer at Whitefish, one of the best coaches to ever do it, and it's a pleasure to have you on, Coach. Thanks for joining me here today.
Thanks, Cole.
Let's just go ahead and start off with, obviously, longtime Whitefish community member, longtime coach and everything. You were a coach for, I think it was Whitefish basketball's only state championship back in the 90-91 season. Talk to me about when you get to revisit those kind of moments from your coaching days to baseball to basketball and everything. What kind of sticks out?
Well, actually, we won the state title as a player in 1970, and that was under Coach Bob McLeod. And so we were fortunate. I was fortunate enough to be part of the second state championship team in 1990, and so that was the second state title. But yeah, it was absolutely unbelievable that the basketball team was part of the community. We had unbelievable following. Any home game, you could see 2,500, 3,000 people, especially when we played Columbia Falls and Kalispell, our rivals. And it was just a buzz around the community. Anytime we went to the state tournament, there would be thousands of people up there in green and gold. And the community just kind of had ownership of our program, and they loved our kids.
How about what got you into coaching in the first place?
Well, I wanted to be a professional baseball player, and I played baseball collegiately, and I didn't quite make it to the show, so I figured that the next best thing was to coach. That kept me close to the game, and so I came back and in '76 when I got the high school job, and started coaching the Glacier Twins, and then Bob McLeod brought me back, and I was his assistant for 3 years in basketball. I also coached football with Coach Wraith and was part of that state championship, the first state championship for Whitefish. And then we also started the tennis program back then. So we were involved in athletics. I've been involved in athletics all my life.
How about before we go into that, your thoughts on the Whitefish football team this last year, making it to the semis, only the fifth team since 2000 to make it to the semis for Whitefish football?
That was awesome. I thought I kept track of them, was fortunate enough to be able to speak to them. Coach had a great group of kids that played together as a team, and I think they overachieved. Nobody really expected them to do that well, and that just speaks volumes for the kids and the coaching staff to get them to that far.
And then, so you've coached in Whitefish. I was going to bring that up, that you got to speak to him. Coach Bullwig said that was one of his cooler moments this year, was to have you speak to them. But it just kind of goes to show the impact that coaching in this community has. It is a long-lasting life impact. Take me through, what did it mean to be a coach for Whitefish, to coach a program that you also played for? Well,
it meant the world to me. That was one of my life goals, was to come back and teach and be able to coach basically where I grew up and participated. And, we've always had a rich tradition, athletic tradition at Whitefish High School. And so I wanted to continue that on. When I took over, things were not all that good. And so it took a lot of work and a lot of community help. In fact, Benny B. and Roland Newton and Ron Holliday were instrumental in the growing of the basketball program by helping us with Little Dribblers basketball. And we were the first community in the state that had Little Dribblers, which is a national organization. It's like Little League baseball. Mm-hmm. And we had 100-plus kids playing 4th, 5th, 6th grade basketball. And so that carrot those kids wanted to be part of our program. And, we always said we don't rebuild, we reload, because kids wanted to be part of Bulldog basketball.
How about for you? And two, what brought you to Whitefish in the first place? How'd you end up here, and what was it like growing up here?
Well, that's a long story, because
give me the short version.
Well, I came from Cuba when Castro took over. My parents saw communism and socialism coming to Cuba, and through the Peter Pan Project, I was able to get out. My sister and I. We didn't know whether we'd ever see our parents again, but we ended up coming to the United States, and I couldn't speak English, and it was definitely a culture shock. We went from the equator to the North Pole. We were sent to an orphanage in Helena, Montana. I had never seen snow, and Winnie and Leroy Brown from Whitefish, the Catholic diocese, were asking for people to take in Cuban kids, and they volunteered and took my sister and I in, and we were with them for 5 years until my parents got out of Cuba. And so I owe them everything. And the community embraced my sister and I and made us feel comfortable. And so there was at that time 30-some Cuban kids in the Flathead Valley, and I was the only one that ever came back and made it my home. So I love Whitefish, and I love Montana.
Well, I look at this legacy, the numbers don't tell the whole story, but they tell a good part of the story. What was it? 20 plus years in coaching, 16 state tournaments as a coach, a championship for the Dogs. Obviously defense. I remember that from my 1 year being coached by you. But what moments from your basketball career outside those numbers kind of stand out? What do you remember most about coaching? Is there a certain year that stands out? Is there a certain group that stands out?
No, every one of our teams were special. I think the most rewarding teams were the ones that weren't supposed to be all that good, and they always overachieved and became better. Actually, we made it to the state tournament 17 out of the 20 years, and there were years that we weren't supposed to be all that good, that we ended up being pretty darn good, because we believed in we basketball, not me basketball, and everybody bought in to the system. Defense wins championships, and our kids were terrific competitors. They would do the little things and played the game right, and that's why people enjoyed coming to watch them play. But I think obviously the 91 state championship was special. We were, one tip away from not even making it to the state tournament. It took Kyle Bell kind of a miraculous tip at the end of the Columbia Falls semifinal game to get us into the championship of the divisional tournament here in Kalispell, and we ended up beating Stevensville, the number one ranked team, and going to state. At state, we were expected to be the worst team at the state tournament, and I remember the night before the opening round, I was meeting with the kids in the motel room, and the TV was on, and the Butte Central coach was on the TV talking about Haver and Laurel, and they were playing us. So he was obviously overlooking us, and that's all our kids had to see. And so we ended up knocking off Butte Central, and winning that state title, especially when we weren't supposed to, was real special, especially with that group of kids. We had Luca Grassilli, who was a foreign exchange student. I always told Ray Boxage, hey, get me some basketball players. He always brought in the World Cup soccer players all the time, but never gave me any basketball players. So finally he got a kid from Italy to come, and he was terrific. We had Kyle Bell moved in from Columbia Falls. Damian Campbell came in from California. So we had some help along with Pat and Mike Bauer and those local kids that made that team special.
I mean, I remember going to the gym at when I was growing up. My mom and dad would take me, and the place was packed. And I still remember getting into high school, and I remember it was my freshman year, is the final year that you coached at Whitefish, and for whatever reason, I think this memory only sticks out because obviously the late, great John Michaels, rest in peace, such a great broadcaster, but I was homesick for the for the it was the divisional. Was it the divisional tournament, the challenge game, and Luke Fennelly goes off in the fourth quarter. That year that you came back, what do you remember most about that last year?
Well, the reason I had been retired for 7-8 years, and Ken Paulson approached me about taking the team. I told him I would do it for one more year because I was planning on retiring my 30th year of teaching, and I took over the team and basically to see if kids still, would react positively to structure and accountability and playing team basketball. And as it turned out, kids hadn't changed all that much. And we had 3 sophomores, a junior and a senior on a team that wasn't supposed to be all that good. And we won the divisional title and made it to the state tournament. And I always told those kids, because you play the game right, you're going to see these bleachers full of people, and it was really a treat at the divisional championship game. Those kids walked out, and the gyms were packed. People were sitting in the aisles, and it was just great to see that group do so well.
What's it like for you, too, as a coach to now see it, like a Luke Fennelly going to MSU Billings and now basically turning around that program there, to see so many players? I got to imagine as a coach, it's more about what you get to see them after their playing days than it is during, right? That makes it what you do special, right?
Oh, well, that makes it all worthwhile, all the hard work. We've had such terrific kids that, turn out to be doctors and lawyers and engineers and the experiences that they had in athletics helped them in their career. Luke, I'm so extremely proud of him and what he's accomplished. You coached like you've been coached. I was fortunate enough to have a terrific coach at Mesa Community College where we won a national title, and then Bob McLeod, my high school basketball coach. And so I coached the way I was coached, and I hope that Luke learned some things from us, and he's utilizing them hopefully, and he's done so well. I'm extremely proud of him.
You're listening to the Flathead Valley Sports Haven. We'll be back after a quick word from Logan Health.
Is pain or weakness holding you back? When the pain cramps your lifestyle, consider joint replacement. At Logan Health Orthopedics, their total joint program provides proper education, support, and guidance during your journey. Orthopedic nurse navigators walk you through the entire process, from decision to recovery. Their surgeons use the latest technology to get you back to activity quickly with less pain and fewer restrictions. Visit logan.org/ortho to learn more. Get back to what you love with Logan Health Orthopedics.
Back from the break here on the Flathead Valley Sports Haven. I'm your host, Cole Havens. Today in studio, I'm talking with longtime head coach of Whitefish Athletics, Julio Delgado, Hall of Famer. Now, Coach, you were also a longtime baseball coach for the Glacier Twins. Really helped kind of, I don't know if revitalize the program's the right word, but maybe, you're the one that kind of helped get the program to where it had become type of thing. Take me through what was it like you played collegiately baseball, to come back and be a baseball coach as well. That had to be a lot of fun too, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. In those days, I played baseball for the Glacier Twins. We had a 16-game schedule, and we had coaches that volunteered, didn't know a lot about the game, but I loved them for coaching, because without them there wouldn't have been a program. And so for me to take on the challenge, come back and rebuild the program was a real treat. I think the bottom line is being in the high school and seeing athletes in PE, watching them play dodgeball, who could throw the ball and catch it, and so on and so forth, helped me recruit kids. Having credibility playing Division I baseball, and that helped as well get kids out. But we had terrific group of kids. Baseball in the 20 years I coached, we had 56 kids go on to play college baseball. We had 4 kids get drafted by major league ball clubs, and we had a number of kids that achieved collegiately, All-American honors and those type of things. Billy Walker comes to mind. He's probably one of the top 3 competitors I ever coached. A little guy that could throw the ball 90-some miles an hour, and he was just one of those kids that would growl at you if you came out to the mound. And it was just fun to coach those type of kids. But it was so much fun rebuilding that program and getting it to where it was. In those days we were AA, so we were playing Billings and we were playing Missoula and we were playing Great Falls and all the major cities in the state, and we were beating them. I mean, we were competitive. Like I said, we made it to the state tournament 17 out of the 20 years. We took third 4 times. We won the title in '86 and took third at the regional tournament in Corvallis, Oregon. So the program was as good as it got in Montana.
Talk to me about the dynamic of, because Glacier Twins is Whitefish and Columbia Falls combined, and it's always interesting when you go from being bitter rivals. I mean, granted, I know there's a respect factor between the two communities, but when you're going from bitter rivals to a team you absolutely despise to now you're teammates with those players, how do you balance that?
Oh, it was at times it was difficult, but once those kids became a part of the team, it wasn't an issue. And we also had Cat Dog Smoker that we brought from Gonzaga University, and so those kids would fight in the ring and so on. But once they put on the baseball uniform, that was put aside, and we had one goal in mind, and that was to win and be successful, and there was never an issue. In fact, there was a lot of good friendships made because of those Columbia Falls kids and Whitefish kids playing together.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about this. I wouldn't be doing my job right. But obviously, everyone knows about the Sapa Johnsrud Memorial Tournament and why that is what it is. I don't necessarily want to touch about the darkness of that day, but the rally after it had happened. You were the coach during that time. Take me through the rally, the community support, and what it's like to see the Sapa Johnsrud still continue to this day.
Well, I was so tickled to see the high school in Columbia Falls and Whitefish bring that back. And
at the high, it's cool to see at the high school. Yeah,
absolutely. It was gone for quite a while. But at one time, Cole, we had as many as 20 teams playing in that tournament, and we used the rock pile and we used the Sapa Johnsrud field along with Memorial Field, and we had teams from all over the western part of the country, California, New Mexico. We had them from Idaho, Oregon, Washington, Alaska. They would be always wanting to come here because the Flathead Valley has so much to offer, Glacier Park, and it's such a beautiful place. They all wanted to be part of the Sapa Johnsrud tournament. It was very competitive. We had college scouts. We had major league scouts coming to watch. It was an outstanding tournament, and it was sad to see it go away. But the community, after the tragedy, really backed it and wanted to be part of it. So the sponsorships and the money flowed in. And, of course, you had Dick and Char Sapa, who were, in my estimation, the biggest boosters to youth baseball in this Flathead Valley. And so they helped immensely with of course, the Blue Moon and those type of things. But it was just a great tournament, very competitive, high caliber baseball, and well attended. It was a fun tournament to go to.
Yeah, I'm blessed to be able to call the Whitefish High School baseball games on air, and this moment will always stick out. I know it was not last year, but the year before when they played at Glacier Bank Park for the Range Riders, and Reggie Sapa is a shortstop for Columbia Falls, and he makes the final out of the first ever Sapa Johnsrud tournament at Glacier Bank Park, and it was, I don't know, poetic. Is the word that comes to mind. But to be able to still see that continue, I know Kyler Blades, when he played for the Twins, he he played in the St. John's route for the Twins, and now I can see it in his eyes when he shares that now the two towns, Whitefish and Columbia Falls, get to do at the high school. It just kind of brings it into a different light. It's cool to see it just in that aspect, and now I think they're using it as a way to kind of end the high school baseball season.
Yeah, it's an awesome tournament, and I was so tickled to see it come back. Both Ray and Jimmy were such great kids that they deserve to have their memory preserved with that tournament and honored, and I'm just tickled that it's back. Speaking of Reggie, we got him down to Mesa Community College where I played down in Arizona, and I just got word that he made the roster, so he made the team, and we're wishing him well. It's a great program, great baseball down there.
I was going to say I covered a kid in Cody, Wyoming who played there.
Yeah.
Jared Grins.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, so pretty cool, actually. I want to talk about you as your playing days a little bit, because, again, player for Whitefish, I'm going to make you do something that most coaches and players don't want to do, is talk about themselves. But multi-sport athlete at Whitefish, basketball, baseball. You also played football, I know. Starting guard on the 70 championship team, all-state honors, a who's who recognition. Went on to play college baseball, named Outstanding College Athlete of America. Take me through just all that. Talk to me about yourself a little bit and what that was like to be able to do all that.
Well, I'll tell you, I was just so fortunate to go down to Mesa Community College. We played, like I said, 16 games a summer, and I was fortunate enough to play against Kalispell, and Jimmy Otten was a great pitcher for the Lakers, and he had gone down to Mesa and gotten to play down there, and he went ahead and recommended me down to Mesa, and so I was able to get an opportunity to go down there. And again, it was all about the coaching. Coach Fry was one of these guys that made you get out of your comfort zone and made you overachieve. And I was fortunate enough to be named first-team All-American down there, and was fortunate enough to be part of a national championship team. And from there, I went on to Gonzaga University. It's a Division I school that at that time was ranked 11th in the nation, Division I, for a small school with an enrollment of 3,600 kids. It was pretty good baseball, and we were playing. We were Big Sky champions the first year, and that second year, Big Sky did away with baseball, so we became part of the Pac-12, which was Oregon, Washington, California schools. So the competition was pretty good. But we did well at Gonzaga University as well, and I had some opportunities to try out with some major league ball clubs, and I had a job with Whitefish. And, normally what happens is if they don't draft you, at that time there was only 15 rounds, and so if they don't draft you, there's no money invested in you. It's an awful tough road to make it through the minor leagues, $500 a month and riding in buses. And, I was married, and both Benilla and I had a job offer here in Whitefish, so we decided to go that direction.
And I can't imagine you regret that decision at all.
No, not at all. Obviously I would have loved to have had an opportunity to play professionally, but like I said, my dad played professionally in Cuba, and I wanted to follow in his footsteps, and it didn't work out. But we made the most of it.
So, yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool because obviously you go to high school, I went to college, got out for a little while. And now that I've been back for a couple years, I almost kind of forgot, or maybe, I don't know if forgot's the right word, but maybe you don't realize it until you leave and come back, just how special it is to be from Whitefish, to grow up here, to go to high school here. This athletic community, it's crazy how close-knit it is. Talk to me about just what makes that special. What makes this community special? What makes this athletic community the way it is? And I feel like right now, Whitefish Athletics is trending upwards.
And it's great to see, Cole. I think that your youth programs need to be nurtured, especially in basketball. And football has always, been real important to the community. And to see the success that the kids enjoyed this year is only going to, basically snowball and get better and better. Soccer has always been good. Track has always been good. The tradition of athletics in Whitefish is outstanding. And then, the community is a big part of that.
And then I also want to ask you because, obviously, rest in peace, John Michael's a great guy. He called a lot of your games. What was it like to have him be the voice of Whitefish athletics for as long as he was? I feel like you can touch on that probably better than a lot of people.
Yeah, Cole, I'm telling you, he was the ultimate professional. I often told him, John, what are you doing here? You could be going big time. You could be on ESPN. You could go anywhere you want with the job you do. He was so thorough and understood the game, and every question was intelligent, and it was all very, very professional and well done. And then on top of that, he was, such a supporter of high school athletics and Whitefish in general. And it was just a gut punch when he passed. He was just way too young, and we miss him. Yeah, he definitely was a big part of the legacy of Whitefish basketball when I was involved.
Probably was Whitefish's biggest fan.
Yeah, without a doubt.
What would be your message to upcoming athletes in this, I shouldn't say this day and age, but if you had to give one piece of advice to maybe a 7th or 8th grader that's coming up, what would be your biggest piece of advice?
Well, my pet peeve, Cole, I'll be honest with you, is I have a real problem with kids making it about themselves and not making it about the team. There's nothing worse than to see, a kid on the floor or on the football field or wherever, beating their chest and raising their arms and drawing attention to themselves. That basket didn't happen without somebody making a good pass or somebody bringing the ball down the floor. It's a team game mostly. If you want to have attention brought upon yourself, then go out for wrestling, go out for do the boxing thing where it's one-on-one and you're the only one out there. But when it's a team concept, it just drives me nuts to see kids. And you know what? It's understandable when they see the college athletes and the professional athletes doing all the antics and shenanigans, but that doesn't make it right. And it's all about team, and it's all about we, not me. And if I have one piece of advice is that, act like you've been there before and not bring any attention to yourself.
Coach, you're a Hall of Famer. You've been in Whitefish for years. I know I've known you since I can remember. Thank you for everything. And congratulations once again on just everything that you've accomplished. And hopefully Whitefish basketball, hopefully we're in store for a good season this year. I think these guys have the right mentality.
Awesome. I'll love to see it. I think that we need to bring that excitement back to that gymnasium.
Coach, thank you again.
All right. Thank you, Cole.